So the protests, internally there were, some incidents of some law and order incidents in the Indian state of Uttar Pradesh, where because of the outrage sparked by the comments. But it is really the international backlash that has got India worried. A host of countries, Saudi Arabia, Indonesia, Muslim countries, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Indonesia, Kuwait, Pakistan, of course. All of these countries have taken serious offense, and to add to that, these comments actually came at a time when Vice President of India, Venkaiah Naidu, was on a tour of Qatar. So not only did the Qatar government call the Indian ambassador and register a strong protest, but a scheduled sort of interaction of Vice President Naidu was cancelled after these comments. With a very senior Qatar official was cancelled after these comments happened. Kuwait has asked for an apology from the government. So this it's almost the entire group of Muslims. So OIC has been very critical of the comments. India has sort of in part they have tried to sort of pacify people, but also they have lashed out at organizations like the OIC, saying that serial violators of minority rights seem to be criticizing us.
Well, the member Nupur Sharma, who's at the centre of the controversy, has been suspended from the party, and Naveen Kumar Jindal expelled. Protesters are calling for stronger punishment. What do you think is likely to happen?
It's sort of, for me to say what is likely to happen is slightly speculative. Because, since 2014, when this current dispensation came to power, there have been multiple such comments from party office bearers, from government officials, senior ministers. And this is the first time any action whatsoever has been taken against anybody. Ministers have in the past called names to people from a certain community. They have given calls such as "gun them down." Literally, that those were the words, and no action has ever been taken. So, this being the first time, there's no precedent that I can sort of look back on and say that what is likely to happen. But let us see how it goes. Nupur Sharma has, she's not she's a spokesperson. She's a national spokesperson. She has fought elections once against the sitting chief minister of Delhi and lost. But to make a prediction about what either of their political futures would hold, I think would be a little speculative at this point of time.
And what sort of internal party disputes has this caused?
So, after these, internally there are, there's criticism of the BJP, not just within the party, but outside among its larger Hindutva support base, who are saying that, if you've taken action against Nupur Sharma, why not against, Islamists? For example, Nupur Sharma has said that she's getting death threats from Muslim organizations, and she has tweeted and said that the media should not share my home address with anybody. So there is this sort of sympathizers of the Hindutva ideology are making this point that people who are critical of Nupur Sharma's comments are not critical about the death threats that she is getting. So I think there's a bit of there are constant sort of justifications of why Nupur said what she did, in the sense that there are insults to the particular god in whose context, particularly Hindu god, in whose context Nupur has tried to justify her comments, and people are saying that insults against that god have been so rampant, and people have not been critical enough. And this conversation, interestingly, it glosses over the fact that what happened, the action against Nupur Sharma happened not because a certain community, which is the biggest minority in India, is outraged within the country. What has happened because very critical strategic partners of India have taken serious offense to those comments that were made. So I think when in the criticism of what happened to Nupur, the action taken, there's a deliberate attempt to not take this fact into account, that the government's hands were in a sort of a way forced.
And you've said this is unprecedented, the reaction that India has seen. Do you think this has the potential to spiral into something even much bigger, possibly diplomatic fallouts with countries who are really upset about this? How might this affect India in terms of economic investment with the Gulf countries?
See, whether this outrage actually spills over into trade ties, because be it fuel, fertilizer, a lot of important imports happen from these groups of countries. Where this outrage to spill over into mutual trade ties, then that would have serious repercussions for the Indian economy. But some of these countries have already sort of welcomed. Qatar has welcomed the action that India has taken. So unless, I may be wrong, but from what I see is that unless something else erupts and something adds to the current atmosphere, my own sense is that our ties may sort of weather over this current phase, unless something else happens again, which is not impossible given the trends that we have seen over the last 8 years in this country. These sorts of comments have been, they've been very frequent and they've been very widespread.
Abantika Ghosh, thanks for your analysis. We'll be keeping a close eye on it. Thank you.
Thank you.